think about what you're doing. What do you believe about dating? Is that working for you? Does your belief system produce results? If it doesn't, you should question what you believe. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Marv Over Matter back with another video. And today, what I'm going to talk about are the biggest lies holding you back from success with women. Man, the biggest lies that are just holding you back. So, there's a lot of beliefs, right, that people have about dating. And where do they get these beliefs? They get them from media a lot of the times. A lot of our programming and our thought process about dating comes from media, right? And the thing about media is it is driven to get you to purchase. That's what it's for. A lot of the media is just there to get you to buy things, right? So when you think about the movies that talk about dating, Disney movies, all these types of things, this is all just, to get, first of all, it's to get you to watch the movie. So it has to be romanticized, right? It has to be romanticized. And then when you talk about commercials, they're literally there to get you to buy things. So they portray men always buying women things, always doing certain things for women, behaving in certain ways, right? And that sets the expectation in a woman's mind. So now she goes out, and she probably would have never thought this naturally if she wasn't influenced by these things. But now she's requiring certain things. She has certain expectations, right? That force you to now behave in a certain way. Or you see it yourself and you're trying to get ahead of the game, and you're like, okay, this is how this guy was in this movie. And this is all subconscious. This is how this guy was in this show. This is how this guy was in this commercial, right? And then you go and you behave in these ways, and you hear these things, and things kind of spread, and things kind of grow, and like amongst the society, like, a certain way of being. It's like a certain expectation will come out of it, and then everybody will start having that expectation, and then that becomes the rule, right? And a lot of these things, when you put them into practice, they don't actually work. They actually work against you, right? So I'm gonna get right to it. The first big lie that I'm gonna talk about is you need to take it slow, right? You need to take it slow when you're dealing with a woman. You should not try to like make a move on the first date. You should respect this young lady. You should treat her like, okay, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to show you that you're worth it in the long run, right? That's what a lot of guys do. And you usually do it with a girl that you really like. You really like, okay, I actually want this to work. So let me, then the subconscious programming, then the subconscious programming comes in, and you're like, okay, so I'm going to show her that she's worth it to me. I'm going to wait. That doesn't work, because, and I've had a few guys recently in my comments when I talked about signs, and I forget if it was the video on 3 signs she wants you to make a move, or if it was on the one of how to get laid on the first date, or it might have been how to get her friends with benefits. It might have been a combination of the 3, but guys are talking about how, oh man, I just missed this. Like, I just made a mistake. I waited, I didn't make the move, and now I have no second date, right? And what I explained in whatever one of those videos, was that when you do just wait, when you don't make the move, all it does is tell her you're not interested. That's all it does. I remember, so my style of dating is like, I don't really show too much interest, even if I'm on a date. Like, I'm on a date with you, I'm here because I'm interested. I don't need to overdo it and overfill your head, right? And so I thought that it was just, the chillness, whatever. It was just chill, but I assumed women could still tell, like, okay, I'm here with you on a date. I like you. But I remember one time I went on a date with an older lady, and she was like a sports therapist or something like that. Like, she worked with a lot of football players. She worked with a lot of athletes, like professional athletes. So the world that she's in, she's dealing with these super aggressive, super like go getter guys or whatever. And when I was talking to her, we're having a good conversation or whatever, and then it came up towards the end of the date, where I was like, I asked, I don't know if I asked her, I was like, so yeah, how you think this is going or whatever? She's like, well, I don't think there's any attraction. And at first I was like, what? No attraction? What? I have not experienced that yet. Like, where there's just no attraction. I'm like, are you saying that you're not attracted to me? Is it not? She's like, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like we have a spark. Like, normally when I want to date, guys are trying to touch me and they're trying to do all these things, and you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I was interested because for me, I don't do that throughout the day. I just do that once the tension builds, and then I'm like, okay, here's a moment to now make the move, right? I get some other guys are always throughout the date just overdoing it, trying to touch, trying to, you know what I'm saying? And she was used to that type of validation on a date. So she literally was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. She X'd herself out because she thought I was not interested. And that is my point. Because you don't make a move, when you don't make a move, all she thinks is you're not interested, right? So she just didn't know that I was feeling her. Right, and then we, continued. We had a conversation about it, and then like she understood what I was doing because we kind of talked about, like, I kind of talked about my strategy or whatever. And she was a psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever. So it was an interesting conversation, and then it led to us, leaving to go do what we're gonna do. But yeah, you have to make the move. Let her be the one to be like, no, let's slow down. Let's, I respect myself. I'm this, I'm that, you know what I'm saying? I have my integrity, I want to wait till the second date, but let her be the one to do that. When you do it, all you do is show, I'm not interested in you. And then she just goes and finds somebody else who's interested in her, some guy who does make a move. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first lie that guys believe, is that you need to take it slow. That's not going to work for you. It's going to make you lose the girl. Or the alternative is, if you don't make a move and she does go on a second date with you, a lot of times it's just because she doesn't like you anyway. So she's using you on the first date. Then she realizes, oh, this guy's not gonna make a move. Word. I can just go on and I can get a lot out of this guy before he even tries to get something from me. Right? And then you just set yourself up to get used. So those are the two things that really happen. I mean, of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but typically that's what's gonna happen. Either you're gonna just not get a second date if you don't make a move, or it's only because she doesn't like you anyways. And you not making a move is a perfect opportunity for her to take advantage of you. All right, so that's the first lie. The second lie is that there are good girls and bad girls, right? Some girls, you have to treat them respectfully because they will not tolerate sexuality. They don't want to know about sex. They don't want to talk about sex. They want to connect, right? Just person to person, human to human, right? And that's true. They do want to do that. And then there's other girls who they just want sex all the time. That's it. That's all they're about. They just want to, be ran through, whatever. The thing is, that's not true. There's no separation. There's no girl who doesn't like sex. All girls like sex. They all want to get freaky with somebody, right? Some are going to be more selective. They're not going to want to do that with everybody, but they all have that desire to have sex, that desire to, get physical. They want to reproduce. It's human nature. So when you go into a situation and you see a girl and you think she's a good girl and you start trying to treat her like that, again, along the same lines as the first one, you're just going to make her lose interest in you because she's going to think you're not interested in her. You're going to be boring to her, and you're not going to get that from her, right? You're not going to get and the thing is, it's there. It might not be there, like I said, for all guys. She might be in person. She, out on the streets, she might be super polite, super respectful, never talk about sex, all these things. It's all a facade. She's hiding inside. She is going to be freaky. Those would be the freakiest ones. The girl that turned me from vanilla to, knowing what I'm doing in the bedroom was a girl that would never talk about sex with anybody. If they brought it up, she'd be like, this is inappropriate. Like, I don't want to talk about this. She dressed very modestly. She was very intelligent, super sweet, polite, right? But when we got in the bedroom, it was a completely different situation. She was very, very freaky. And she introduced me to some things, right? So don't buy it. Don't buy the facade. Don't buy the lie. There's no girl who's just good and doesn't want to have sex and she's like, oh no, I'm super pure, I'm a saint. That's not a thing. All you do when you believe that is just, now you start acting in a way that makes you a nice guy, and then she's just gonna lose interest in you. You know what I'm saying? You get nervous, you feel like you can't be real with girls like this. And it'd be the girls that you really like. It's usually the girls that you really like, and you're like, I do want to make this last long term. And that's when you start treating her like a good girl. because you're like, yeah, no, she's a good girl, she would never do this. But it doesn't work, bro. I promise you, that mentality is going to keep you back from getting that good girl that you want. All right, so that's the second lie that guys believe that's holding them back from women, is that there's good girls and bad girls. No, there's a bad girl inside of every good girl. Remember that. And the third lie that guys are believing that's messing up their results with women is that you need to come into the situation being a provider, right? You need to come to the first date and just pay for the first date. And then, you know what I'm saying, you're going to show her, like, I'm a man, I'm going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? This is who you're dealing with. Now, the reason that is not good and the reason that it hurts your success with women is because now all you're doing is possibly, first of all, setting yourself up to be taken advantage of. Because if a girl is interested in you, you don't have to spend money to make her spend time with you. She will want to spend time with you regardless. I don't care what you've heard, what they say in the movies, what these girls say on TikTok, on Instagram, wherever. They will spend time with a guy if they like him, regardless of if he spends money or not. So first, it's a good test in general just to see if she'll spend time with you without you spending money, because then you know she's actually interested in you. But let's say she is interested in you and you do still just come out with that mindset, I'm gonna show you that I'm a provider. Human nature dictates people to not appreciate something that they get without working for it. So if you just come into the situation and you're like, hey, look, this is, I'm doing all this for you. This is the stuff that, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get if you're with me, and you don't even have to do anything. Now that sets the baseline. This is the baseline now. So this is you providing for her whole life, whatever, without her even doing anything to deserve it, without her behaving well. I mean, not behaving, but without her giving you respect, without her giving you, you know what I'm saying, her pleasantries, without, you know what I'm saying, without her being a good person, really. It's just like the baseline. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, it was different because people knew who they were going to go out with. They knew the person already. They either grew up with them, or, you know what I'm saying, they're in the community. They were around these people. That's how people interacted. They were around these people and they heard about them. They're like, oh, you know, she's a God-fearing woman, or, you know, she's not loose. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever been able to be with her. You know what I'm saying? You knew what you were investing in before you got to the date. So when you get to the first date, of course you're going to invest. You know what I'm saying? You know this girl already. You know about this girl already. Nowadays, you meet a girl on a dating app, you meet a random girl out cold. This is why the cold approaching thing is like, you kind of setting yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You cold approach a girl, you don't know nothing about this girl. You know nothing about her. She could be anything. She could be anything. And you just coming into the date and you showing, oh, let me invest in this. If you were investing in stock, you wouldn't just invest in a company without knowing anything about it. So why would you just invest in a girl without knowing anything about her? You should get to know her first and then decide, okay, she's worth investing in. Because if you don't, like I said, you're just going to spoil her. She's not going to appreciate it. And you set the bar so high that she doesn't have to do anything. And all you can do is go up from there. You can't go down. You can't bring it back. And if you just stay the same, that's not going to be enough. So you just set yourself up to have a poor dynamic with this woman who you don't know in the first place. Right? So that's another mistake, another lie that guys believe. You know what I'm saying? When they're dealing with women that they think that's going to help them get the woman. If the woman likes you, you don't have to do all that to get her to spend time with you. If you have to do that to get her to spend time with you, she doesn't like you. All right, so like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think, man. Like I said, doing the video calls, so check it out in my bio or in the description box. But yeah, I want guys to think about what you're doing. What do you believe about dating? Is that working for you? Does your belief system produce results? If it doesn't, you should question what you believe. You know what I'm saying? Write it in the comments. Some things you believe that you've been able to realize, oh, this doesn't actually help me. This isn't going to actually, you know what I'm saying, improve my dating life. What are those things? Right? Think about it. You want results. So only believe things that's going to get you the results. All right? Just think about it. You know what it is? It's mind over matter, Marvel over matter. Let's get it.